Everybody, welcome to the Brainal podcast. This is episode 37. It is August 10th, 2016. I'm Jepi Condile.
And I am Frozen GFX.
And we kind of have a lot to talk about, but I really don't know how much we can talk about with you, Frozen. So we'll talk about that in a second. But we do want to give a shout out this week. And I'm sorry, I don't actually know your name, but we know you as AC Padilla. Or is it Padilla? What do you think, Frozen?
Let's just call him AC. Let's not.
I think is great. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So AC is from. Oh man, I had it.
It is Malmö, Sweden.
I think it's pronounced Malmö.
Malmö?
According to Wikipedia, Malmö, like that.
Malmö.
Which, according to Wikipedia, is the third biggest city in Sweden.
Whoa!
And they look. I just saw some pictures of some of their architecture, and they have some pretty crazy buildings. One is called the Turning Torso. Frozen, do me a favor. Just look up Turning Torso. Building, at least. Okay? Look how crazy that building is.
Ooh.
That's tight. I want to live there. That's crazy.
That's a bit scary to me.
I'm curious to see what the rooms are like in there. But either way...
Like Professor Wendelknot's museum.
Yeah. AC, we got your email the day after we recorded the podcast. So
yes.
We would have, mentioned you last week, but we really do appreciate your email, really. And the fact that you're in Sweden, that's crazy.
That is insane.
That is crazy insane. Either way, we really appreciate you listening. And like we said last week, later today, we're going to get to Katty's question. But AC, if you hear this, we would love for you to actually create the question of the week for next week's episode. And don't worry if your English is off. We can make sense of it and everything. But otherwise, we would love to hear from you. And thanks again for writing in, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Woman.
I mean, that...
I can't tell.
That was amazing to see. That was amazing to see that they reached out.
Yeah.
I'm so happy about that.
Yeah.
And just real quick, by the way, for anybody else who wants to contact us, email us, we do now have an official email that you can send any emails to. It's podcast@brainal.net. Hopefully that's easier to spell. I know some people may have had issues with spelling my name, but hopefully that works for you.
Yeah, and AC did mention that he would love to hear a Zelda review from me.
Oh, that's right.
I'm gonna. I think you're referring to the Breath of the Wild. I'll try my best. I mean, that's gonna be crazy. It's a big game, but yeah. And No Man's Sky we'll get to in a second because he didn't mention that. But either way, okay. Why don't we start with that? Frozen, you go for it.
The huge elephant in the room. For me, No Man's Sky still remains a mystery to me because I have not received my copy of the game from GameFly. However, considering that this is a huge release, in my opinion, it's a huge release. I do not want to restrict anything that you have to say about it, because at this point I've pretty much inadvertently viewed a lot of content that I didn't want to in the first place, and at this point I'm just anxious and waiting to play the game. So if you have anything that you would like to say about this game, giving your 2 cents about it, go right ahead.
And it's gonna be okay with you?
Yeah, it's perfectly fine.
Okay. Okay.
It's not about me. It's about the game and our listeners and the experience. So let's do
Well, I appreciate that. I will try to be as cryptic as possible. You okay with that?
it. Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So first thing, when I first booted up the game, again, I'm not gonna tell you what I saw or anything, but I did see this headline from an article. It was on Polygon. That the headline, just the headline itself, said the beginning of the game. I'm paraphrasing, was not, or No Man's Sky was not the game that the person who wrote the thing, the article thought. He No Man's Sky wasn't the game that he thought it was when he first started playing. And then it was some impression about the first 10 hours, even though I personally didn't read the actual article.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you what to expect without spoiling anything, or I'll try my best. So,
Okay. Fine.
this game definitely is about exploration. The thing is, again, I've only played a few hours in personally, but the thing is that the the game really does keep you. How can I say this? I'm really thinking of my words properly here. Yeah, I'll just say this. If I were to sum up the beginning of the first few hours for me personally, and this has to do with the planet I was on to begin with too, is the fact that it's desolate. Now, I don't know how the game will progress as far as the social features of it, but you are put on a random planet, and I really do not think you will encounter anything else that anybody has discovered just yet. I might be wrong in the future. When you play the game Frozen, any you start to see how huge this game is, and to me, it's just overwhelming. I cannot play that game for an extended period of time because there's just so much to learn, and there's just so much to do. To the point where it doesn't give you all the information up front, like, hey, this we got to do, this is what you got to do, this is what you got to do. But at the same time, it gives you just enough for you to figure things out. So you really do feel like an explorer. I personally think, me personally, I love it, but I have to slowly pace it. Um, and it's not as open as I thought it might have been, as far as it's not as easy as kind of like Destiny, like, hey, let's go over here, let's go over here, let's meet up here. No, do you remember that game Don't Starve?
Yeah.
Okay, it's kind of like that, to be honest with you, just on a galactic scale. Um, but from me personally, I really enjoy the game so far. I have a lot to learn about the game, and going whenever I play the game, I really do feel like I am exploring and I'm putting myself in a vulnerable space. But I think that's really going to add to the longevity of the game, and I'm very curious to see how this is going to evolve over time. But
I am so excited to play this game even more because my whole thing with this game was the sense of exploration, traveling, finding new things.
you're going to love it.
Okay. So, yeah. And, to go back on what you were saying for that article that you read in Polygon, the person saying that this game is not what they thought it was. That disappoints me because it seems like they had a predetermined notion of what this game was going to be just because of the available information that was out there,
And the
and it just
trailers, yeah.
yeah, it just ruined it for them.
Yeah, but I mean, wait, have you read the article?
No,
I
I'm just
haven't
going
either.
solely off of what you said.
Right. Yeah, but again, I didn't read the article. They might have actually pleasantly liked it because I had the same thing. I'm like, wow, this is not what I thought it was, but I still really like what I'm playing. So I'm not saying that's a negative article.
Okay.
Yeah. So who knows? Again, I haven't read the article, but um, knowing you and knowing what you want from that game and knowing the things that you like, that sounds weird. I'm talking about as far as pop culture and stuff like that. I really, and like, for example, Mist. Oh, that's actually a very good example. Actually, remember how alone you kind of felt and missed?
Yes.
It's like that, right? I think a lot of people are expecting more a social element to it, and I still don't know. I don't know. I don't know because again, I only played a few hours. But one thing's for sure, you are going to have an experience like no one else. A real unique experience, and this is going to be so mind-boggling that it might actually hurt your head, as far as there's so much to do. Um, you know,
I'm, I have a huge smile on my face just you talking about it already.
yeah, man, I
Because
really do think you're gonna love it. I
it's
love it.
really, it sounds like it's gonna really just hit all the check boxes of what I wanted in a game for such a long time. You know, my play style is I usually keep to myself. I'm kind of a solo player. Even in Destiny and even in other things, I tend to do my own thing, um, which can be a hindrance within the team mechanic a lot of times. But my natural instinct is just to go at my own pace, and I think that this game will definitely allow me to do that, and just allow me to just explore the adventure. So
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
I hope it comes in tomorrow, and if it does, well then,
Let me put it this way: even if it doesn't, whenever it does come in, because it's clearly on the way, don't think you're gonna be behind in anything. You're not, and
yeah,
at least take
I had
comfort in that.
yeah I had I mean, we talked about it yesterday. I had a bit of a fear about that, but from the little things that I saw inadvertently online yesterday and today, yeah, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, I think. Uh, but again, one thing is you will definitely playing alone is one thing, but feeling alone, that's what that game does very well in the beginning. Again, I think it really does depend on. Let me put it this way: the planet that I started on was hostile as all crap. But then I talked to some of my friends that played, and they had very different experiences. One was on a very beautiful planet, stuff like that. So, and that's what makes that game so amazing. And I really do feel like they are. That was the intention of the developer. And I think if the game really was what most people were expecting, I think that game would not be as rewarding as it may be. Man, it's crazy. But again, I don't want to say too much. But one thing I will say, two more things actually. Sorry. Um, there does seem to be some influence from Minecraft, and I don't know if you'll notice that when wait. I know you would notice that if you play because you play Minecraft more than I do. I just don't know if I'm really correct in saying that. But you let me know when you do play it. Um,
Okay.
and another thing is the controls of the game are not the most intuitive in my personal opinion. Um, I hope they do give us a way to remap controls. So at first I was a little frustrating, but I got used to it to the point where it's like, okay, I got it. I figured it out and stuff. But man, that I'll tell you one thing, man. That at least what we've seen in the trailers and everything, that was definitely footage from the game. So there, it wasn't like,
Wow.
yeah, game plays out a lot like that. So, but yeah, yeah, I really can't wait to hear what you think of it,
And was the the game's soundtrack or theme song,
dude.
however you imagine?
Let's not talk about how amazing that soundtrack is. Oh wait, oh that no,
Yeah. No Man's Sky.
talk about No Man's Sky. No, no, no.
With the snaps and
But the
everything.
soundtrack's amazing.
Cool, cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's perfect. Perfect. It's good, good, good. Um, Either way, so yeah, that's all I want to say on it. We'll talk more about No Man's Sky next week. It's finally out, man. We've been talking about it for months. It's finally out.
Yeah, yeah. Whoopee.
Um, Either way, okay. So we'll get to games. No, let's start talk about it now. Have you been playing anything? What have you been playing?
Okay, so I have been playing Tricky Towers.
PlayStation Plus
Uh,
game.
yes, PlayStation Plus game. Man, I really enjoy that. It's refreshing to play that type of a game after like playing Destiny or Street Fighter or something like that, because it's got like an arcade feel to me. So I'm really enjoying that game. I kind of laid off um, the NBA 2K game.
Mm-hmm.
It's so
2K16.
repetitive. Yeah. There's so many different aspects of that game that I haven't even touched on, but for the most part, I think I'm good in that game. I don't think I'm going to be going back to it
I hear you.
anytime soon.
In other words, you got
Um,
the platinum. That's what you're telling me.
right.
There's nothing else to do in that game.
Other than that,
We've been playing
um,
Destiny.
yeah, Destiny. Got back into Destiny. You and I completed a bunch of long-awaited quests and
Mm-hmm.
bounties.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it, I believe,
Cool.
that I know of. Yeah.
Yeah, so just like Frozen said, we have been playing Destiny. Man, that game that game is remarkable. I mean, we'll go from like screw Destiny, plays that anymore, to like
Right.
Destiny. Like one Bungie knows. Like once they just hey, this is coming out. You know what it was for me? The moments of triumph. That's what it was. Like ah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um,
Because you got to get it. I mean, if you've
you
been
have
playing
to.
Stay, you gotta.
You have to.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel it's just stupid. I feel like no one would believe me that I played during year two. If I, you know,
If I don't have it, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that going through those moments of triumph, I really did miss out on a lot that the Taken King or a good portion that had to offer. You know that I've been delayed on that raid for a while, for different reasons. Some personal, some not. I I'm telling you though, I'm not gonna wait. Not this next time.
Yeah.
Not this next time. Crucible's been awesome, right? We played doubles for the first time.
Yes.
Doubles,
Doubles.
freaking awesome. Um,
We said that exact same time.
yeah. But what else am I playing? Uh, found a couple good online friends that we realized that we all had Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront, and I didn't play it that much for the same reason why some people might not like Overwatch or Destiny. I bought it on launch, never really played it. Played a little bit of it, but I had no one to play with online. And I played for the first time with people, and that. But for the record, the partying system in that game is atrocious. I still don't know how to team up with people like in a party. It's ridiculous, but we somehow did it, and it was a lot of fun. It was really cool. Um, what else? Oh crap! Oh wait, hold up. There's a lot of Abzu. Okay, all right. Abzu I've played. I put the part one of the Let's Play Brainal plays on YouTube. That game is incredible. If anyone is a fan of Journey, Flower, whatever, that game is obviously the successor to that. Um, I forgot to look up if that game company is still functional because I know this is not done by that game company, but I guess one of the lead designers or developers of Journey and maybe Flower left the company and then did this, and you can see the influence there. Um, you pretty much are, I guess, not technically a scuba diver because you don't have a tank on you, but you're a diver. You indefinitely like you can essentially exist underwater as much as you want with fish. And there's a shark scared the crap out of me. But the idea was, they're beautiful game, and I still have yet to see where it takes me. Um, Bound is coming out next Tuesday. I'm excited about that. But what have I been playing? Overwatch. Been playing that. Been playing Lucio Ball. At first, I didn't like it. Really like it now. Um, what else? I know there's something. Oh yeah, No Man's Sky. Oh yeah, No Man's Sky. But outside of that, not too much else. Been busy with other stuff, but a lot of games coming out, Frozen, to the point where it's just
It's getting to be a lot, man.
yeah, yeah. But either way, why don't we get into some news? You cool with that?
Yeah, man. Hit me.
Okay. First and foremost, not really, just kind of randomly looking at what I'm seeing. The NX has been rumored or reported to have a major Zelda game, obviously, Mario game, and Pokemon game out within the first 6 months of release, from what I understand.
Ooh,
Yeah.
trifecta.
So we know the trifecta is Zelda, Mario, Metroid, but I do respect some Pokemon. Couple interesting
Pokemon.
things. Zelda is, I'm assuming, is referring to the Breath of the Wild. Mario, very curious to see what that is. Um, have you played either Super Mario 3D World or 3D Land?
Ooh, maybe no. I don't think so.
What about Mario Galaxy?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, I'm curious to see which Mario game, if it's going to be more of like Super Mario 3D World, which was like multiplayer co-op type stuff, or Super Mario Galaxy. I don't know, but whatever it is, I think it's going to be dope if it's a traditional Mario game. Pokemon. This is interesting because this brought up something that I heard on a different podcast. I was like, oh, I never thought of that. So I'm not the biggest Pokemon fan. I don't dislike Pokemon. But Pokemon video games, aside from, even though this includes Pokemon Go, but the traditional Pokemon video games have been handheld, right? The console
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon games that have come out in the past have been more spin offs or untraditional Pokemon games. We have Pokemon Sun and Moon coming out this fall. Now, within the first 6 months of release, and again, I think Nintendo themselves said that in a meeting or whatever, that the release of the NX scheduled for March. So a new Pokemon game is supposed to come out between March and what is that, September, October, something like that, right? Um, Technically, this would be on a portable system and a home console system, and I don't know if this is a port of Sun and Moon, or is this another one, like a completely new Pokemon game, even if it's a traditional Pokemon game. And I wonder how the effects of Pokemon Go are going to influence this new Pokemon game. But Pokemon has never been traditionally on a home console before, so I'm very curious to see how that's going to be. Frozen, what is the NX, man? I don't get it. What is it?
I I think it's just gonna bridge the gap between mobile gaming and console gaming at home. It's just gonna
It's a
it's gonna be
mobile. No, whoa, whoa. Oh, never mind.
yeah, an on the go yeah, there's no way of saying that
Yep,
combination.
yep, yep. Yep.
Next.
Yeah. Um, do you have anything, any stories? You just want me to go?
Okay, so I did see something today, but I haven't read too much into it. Man, what was it? Back in 2013 or maybe before Nintendo Power, the last issue of Nintendo Power was out, right? Was it
Oh
2013?
yeah, I have two copies of that. One open, one. Oh, where
Right.
are
Yeah.
they?
So,
Okay. Sorry, I just realized I might have lost mine.
oh no. Um, the Nintendo Power archive has been taken down. Um, so the archive of like 140 some odd Nintendo Power magazines have just disappeared. And I don't think anybody knows exactly what happened to it. Have you heard anything about this?
I I I thought Nintendo, did Nintendo not force them to take it down?
Oh, I don't know. I don't see anything related to that.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't know, that was my guess. I
Mm.
don't see how it would have benefit Nintendo to do that because it's not like they're losing money with that.
Right? Because it's not an ongoing.
Unless it's not Nintendo. Maybe it's the whoever published the magazine. Maybe
Mm,
I don't know. I mean, as far as I know, the Nintendo Power magazines, you can't order an older copy, a brand new.
mm.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I just thought that was a bit of a bummer, man.
Wait. Huh. Okay, this is a stretch, okay? What if they plan to bring that back or bring Nintendo Power back? And I always thought it would be a cool name for the NX for that to be called a Nintendo Power, but that's just me personally, and that might not be whatever.
You might just
Curious.
have, man. That
And
would be something.
how
If
cool would
they
it be if for the sorry, I did not mean to interrupt you. Please go.
no, go ahead. Bro. The floor is yours.
Okay. um, something about the NX that just kind of, man, I just this clicked in my mind. I'm like, this would be cool. So if the NX is really handheld, how cool would it be if every month, if it were, I'm assuming like a tablet with buttons, how cool would it be every month they released a Nintendo Power episode that's digital in there? You know, you could just flip through it on the NX.
That would be cool, man.
And what if they themselves archived all the old Nintendo Powers and make it available on that? Maybe that might be why. I don't know. I have no idea.
So now we're getting into a mobile console e-reader thing.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, sure.
this is Nintendo Nook.
Yeah, right. Nintendo Nook NX Power
Fire.
VR. Yeah, I mean that could be cool, man. But I was gonna say, number one is the first that I ever heard that there was a Nintendo Power archive, and now I'm pretty bummed because not only did I just find it out, but they shut it down, so I can never go back and read or look up info for past Nintendo Powers and kind of relive my childhood, man. So that kind of sucks.
Let's hope what.
So it's probably out in a torrent or somewhere.
Yeah, probably. Probably by the end of this podcast, you get it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm downloading right now.
Done.
Click, download.
Kind of going along the same line. Man, I was hoping Coffee would be here to talk about this because we talked about it this morning. Have you heard about this Metroid 2 fan
Yes.
remake? Okay. I have not played it. I played the original Metroid 2. It was the very first Metroid game I ever played. I got it. I think it was for Christmas, my birthday, from my aunt a while back. I was really young. I kind of didn't know what the crap was going on because I never played the original Metroid. But it was finally released, and according to Coffee, he was not selling it, which is smart. But Nintendo did take it down, which is not surprising. But at first, I was like, man, that kind of sucks for the guy, even though he kind of asked for it. But Coffee did tell me that, according to what he told me, so this here's it through Coffee. He said that the creator of the remake really wasn't pissed about it because he just used it as practice to code, I guess, or to program or develop a game. But Coffee said he's a few hours into it and he loves it so far, and it's not just a screen for screen, updated port. He said they added a lot. It really fleshed out really made it seem like a game worthy of to stand next to something like Super Metroid. You ever play the game, the original?
The original, I didn't understand how to play it because I was so young. So I didn't really get very far, but I did play it.
You know what I just realized? You know what we should do, man, for Brainal? We should definitely not with this game, but we need to see how far. We need to see whose fault it was. Was it our fault or their fault? Okay. I want to visit. I'll try and track down a copy of something like this, but I want to visit some of the games that have baffled me when I was a kid. Couldn't get past. And I want to see if it was my fault because I was too young to understand, or if it was the developer's fault. The first one that comes to mind is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the very first one, Konami, NES.
Yeah. So what? Like Brainal, who's to blame?
I like that. Frozen, that's genius.
No,
I'm serious. Dude,
well,
we should not air this podcast because I don't want to give anyone the idea.
Well, no, you should because you heard it here first.
That's right.
Trademark, copyright,
boom,
boom, all
Brainal.
that stuff, intellectual property.
Yes. Brainal's who's to blame.
So I really like that idea, okay? And the moment you started formulating the sentence, I knew you where you were going to go. And you know what game has stood out to me that to this day I just don't understand it. And I think it is because I was so young that I just didn't get how to play the game. But then again, who's to
Who's
blame?
to
It could
blame?
be it could be the damn game. X-Men, NES X-Men.
Was that the top down one?
Yes.
It was like a shmup, right?
I know.
Like a shoot 'em up, like Ikaruga, right? Like it
Uh,
played like
oh man,
a bullet hell shooter, kind of like
wow. Yeah, I
scrolling,
guess so. No,
vertically.
no, it was yes.
Yeah, not side,
Okay,
not like our
but this,
type. Let me just let you
okay.
speak.
So
I
this
didn't mean to
game,
interrupt. Sorry.
no, it's okay. This game, since I would, man, I must have been, God, single digits when I played this game. And number one, I don't know how I got this game because it wasn't like I asked my parents about it. Okay, I just it was just there, and I played this game. I didn't understand what the hell to do with this game. Okay, I remember specifically that there was this area that had these gray silvery looking blocks, and that you would go down the stairs to another section which looked exactly the same. When you go down the stairs again, you go back to the there was no way of escaping, and I had no idea what to do in the damn game. So I am on board, and I want to tackle that game because I don't know what the hell that game is about.
I need to. Let's do this. I'm excited. I'm very excited. Okay, so now that we got that down, yeah. So Nintendo took down the Metroid 2 remake, and it's awesome, apparently. And Coffee's opinion I trust. So yes. Okay, you got anything? Your turn. Your turn. My turn.
Let's see.
I got a few. If you don't have to.
Well, the new
Wow.
PS4.
Okay, excuse me while I scroll down.
Yeah, so I get to the tab.
This is good. This is one of mine that I was going to bring up, but you go for it.
So the Sony's going to be revealing the new upgraded PS4.
Allegedly,
Yes, in September.
September 7th.
Yes, at an event in New
Tag
York.
team in this one, man.
um, I am on the fence. Look, okay, so I don't know much about this. What it's going to include, I don't think a lot of people really do. But I'm really interested in maybe trading in my PS4 to get it, as long as it's not. It handles all there's not going to be any weird transitions for this new PS4.
I have a couple thoughts on that.
All right.
Okay.
Give it to me.
One. Okay, first off, have you seen the invitation, that screenshot they showed?
No.
Okay, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, listeners, and I could say that with confidence because there are two listeners that I know.
I know.
That's
confirmed,
crazy.
Verified.
Yeah. It's, if I remember correctly, it's blue background or black. I want to say blue, and you have the PlayStation logo. But I remember on the bottom there's this line that's multicolored, and I was thinking maybe for some reason when I keep thinking of the PS4K or the PS4 Neo, whatever, I keep picturing the PS4. We know it, just internally, it's just different. And then when I saw that, I'm like, man, they might be doing something very different. It might have a very drastically different design. And I'm curious if the rainbow colors are referring to many different colors are possible, maybe some customization. But then when I looked at the way it was set up, the thin line was a lot like the thin light line that you see in your PS4. And I'm wondering if that the light, you know what I'm talking about? The one that usually glows.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
light bar sensor.
So I'm wondering if there's going to be more with that or whatever. I think this thing's going to look pretty crazy or significantly different. Um, because one thing's for sure, I did not, but I almost freaking upgraded to the Xbox One S purely based off of looks,
Mhm.
right? And I'll justify anything like, oh, it's a little bit faster. I'm like, yeah, but no, I'm not gonna do that because I'm gonna save that money for the PS4 Neo. Okay. But the no, no, I'm not trash talking Xbox, but you'll understand why I say that in a second. Um, so we do. There should be 4K. According to the reports, 4K output, right? I'm assuming because the Xbox One S like this, I'm assuming the PS4K is going to also have the HDR um, capabilities. I understand there are two HDR, uh, not patents, two HDR formats or whatever. Um, but I am interested in getting one purely because, and this is what a lot of people are thinking. This is mainly is for the virtual reality. Uh, so the PSVR, I've been looking up a lot of impressions about people who've tried it in the stores, Best Buy and GameStop, and I want my first experience to be with it in hand, like that. It's mine. Um, a lot of people say that the graphics are not as bad as people think they are compared to the HTC Vive. They're fairly comparable to the Oculus Rift, but they do say it is slightly blurry. But that might be how how you have it on your with relative to your eyes, how you have the visor. Um, but it is becoming apparent that if you essentially double the resolution, that the PlayStation VR would look better. Um, and also the processing speed will allow the PlayStation 4 to handle better textures for VR. Because it never occurred to me how demanding virtual reality is on a system. Because you essentially have to have two different perspectives at all times, and they have to be spot on. And technically, with the PSVR, you can get three perspectives because you get two, one in each eye, and then one on the TV. That might be completely different. So I don't know if you remember, but Microsoft first said when rumors of the PS4K were out, they're like, "No, we're not going to do anything like that." Remember
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then I think they've realized why they did it because of VR. Again, this is speculation. And then they're like, "Oh man, we got to come out with one, a 4K whatever version." Um, and then they got the Scorpio coming out next year, Microsoft. But the reason why I'm not going to sell or trade in my PS4 is purely because of PT. I need you to understand this, Frozen.
Mm, okay.
Oh, go for it. No, 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 no. You go with what you're gonna say.
Well, I'm gonna back up my hard drive before I give it up. And I'm gonna. Well, we'll just leave it at that.
Okay. All right. I hope there are no hitches in that
Yeah.
because it's possible 10, 15 years from now, the only way to play PT is on the original PS4. And alone, that's going to be worth a crap ton. If that's the case. Um, and I'm not going to take any chances. And I like the idea of that original PS4 essentially being a time capsule that there's only one way you can play something. Now,
Hmm.
you go for it. If you could do it, you go for it. Let me put it this way: if anybody can do it, it's you, because I know you know a lot
Well,
about that stuff. I don't know too much.
I appreciate it, but the other thing is just swapping out the hard drive, so at least the hard drive is intact completely. But then again, yeah, the original hardware with PS4, I could see where you're getting at with that. I did
Eh,
not think of that.
well, but the other thing too is if I'm gonna upgrade to a PS4 Neo, then you damn well know I'm gonna get the highest capacity version. So
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
yeah, so I don't know if it'd be as simple as just swapping out a hard drive unless you're gonna sacrifice possible 2 terabytes of memory for 500 gigs.
Oh no, I was saying swapping out the original PS4's hard drive, like because you can buy a replacement hard drive or the same capacity or even more, but so that I can preserve PT on its original hard drive, and then like trade in the old PS4 with the upgraded hard drive. But then again, you just blew my mind with the hardware thing, so I might not do that anymore.
No, I'm just hey, if you have a plan, again, you are the hardware wizard. You go for it.
Hardware wizard.
I will say this: if it weren't for the PSVR, I probably would not upgrade because I don't have a 4K TV, and
Oh, that's true. Yeah, yeah.
let alone for me, I don't know. Not only 4K is something I probably maybe next year the soonest, but I still need this HDR war to freaking protocols is what I was looking for. There are two HDR protocols, and as far as I know, the Xbox One S is only compatible with one of them. I don't know if the PS4 Neo will be compatible with one or both. Um, I don't know personally, but I would like that to settle itself first. I still have my HD DVD player for the 360. I wonder if that would work on my
Damn.
Xbox One. Curious.
Yeah.
I don't know. But either way, I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see what they come up with. It's funny because at first I was like, yeah, but now I'm like,
Wait, so hold on. You said about the HDR formats?
yeah, there are two protocols from what I understand.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny because this morning I read that Vizio is coming out with a TV that handles both.
Oh, that's cool.
So maybe in the future you won't have to deal with that.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be dope. Okay, so let's see what else we got. Next week is Gamescom. I think is technically, physically the biggest video game convention in the world. Somewhere in Europe. I think it's Germany, if I remember correctly. I forgot.
Yes.
Okay.
I had that written down somewhere, but yes.
And the reason why I bring this up is because supposedly Overwatch is going to debut their next animated short revolving around Bastion and how much of a punk he is in the game. I can't wait to see it. I forgot. Have you watched the Overwatch animated shorts?
I only saw one for Hanzo and
Genji.
the ninja dude.
Yeah.
That was it. I thought it was dope though.
Yeah. They're freaking awesome. I can't wait to see the Bastion one. I would love to know more about why he loves that bird. What's up with the bird? You know. Uh, yep. And that's pretty much all I got.
Yeah, man, that's all I got. I'm sorry I didn't come very prepared today.
It's okay. Kind of like that sentence, but it's all right. It'll be good.
What else?
Okay, you ready to tackle the question of the week?
Oh, Katty.
Katty, you first off, thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay. Second off,
Hot damn.
how dare you? No, we're kidding. This is by far the most serious question we've ever had for question of the week.
Oh man.
Okay, so I'm gonna read it. Okay.
All right, hit me.
All right. It's from Katty, and she did confirm it's Katty. My question of the week is: being a female gamer, I often shy away from talking to people when I play online. So many creeps out there pounce on me whenever they hear that I'm a girl. I hope she's okay with me reading that. From a marketing perspective, what ideas do you have that would help the gaming community be more inclusive when it comes to female gamers? And what ideas do you have that would help to stop the harassment that women receive online just because of our gender? Katty, first thing, thank you for grammatically typing that correctly. I can't stand bad grammar, and thank you, so I'm just gotta say that first. Okay, so how do we tackle this? I do have a few thoughts, but
Yeah.
at the same time, keep in mind that Frozen and myself, we do not represent the whole male gender at large. We don't represent the female gender at large. We don't. We just represent ourselves, and this is based off the experiences that he and I personally have had, and to the best of our knowledge, as far as our imagination could put us into imagining the position that you're in. That being said, I actually do play with, as you put it, several female gamers, and sometimes depending on the lobby that we're in, I do notice that some some people, male gamers, tend to treat them. I would personally call it harassment, um,
Mhm.
but then a lot of other ones don't. And man, how do I even start talking about this? Um, let's get the obvious out of the way. And I'm pretty sure you've done this, but if anyone were to harass me in any way, okay, whether it be my name, Jepi Condile, okay, whether it be whatever, um, I'm not one to talk a lot of crap, so I would just immediately mute them, and then or block them. And I do know at least PlayStation. I'm assuming Xbox as well has ways to report them. As far as what the I don't know if this actually happens, but I'm assuming if somebody gets reported a lot, they will get banned, right? From playing online.
Yeah, I would think so.
I am curious to see if they would. I never actually tried to do this earlier, uh, almost to you, Frozen, just to try to. But the
What?
no, 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 like I
I
needed
know.
to. I wanted to try to see how far I can get as far as reporting somebody on the PlayStation 4 without actually reporting them. And I realized I didn't know if the next thing I do would be a report. And I don't want that to appear in your reputation or whatever. But I
Yes.
don't
That's a
know.
coffee.
I don't know. I shoot at the giggles.
Yes.
Okay. Um, I don't know if they offer a place where you could type in as far as why. I really wish people had reputations online as far as um, their friendliness or harassment or stuff like that. Kind of like, and this is gonna sound messed up, but kind of like a sex offender list, you know?
Oh my god.
Yeah, well, to the point where it's like, okay, if this person has been reported by several people for harassment, especially for a particular type, I don't think you should prevent them from being able to play online, but you should prevent them from being able to form a party or to be in a party or to allow voice chat or something, you know? Because that's very noxious to the community. Um, and this does not just extend to gender. I would imagine race is a big thing as well, you know? And also to some extent age, right? I mean, some kids get crapped on and
Oh yeah.
yeah, but at least I think that's what could happen. At least on the Sony, Microsoft, you know, the developers of the systems go. What do you say, Frozen?
So I think what you're getting, well, my understanding of what you're saying is there's accountability for your actions. And the reputation thing, if you have a reputation of being this way to anybody, not just female gamers, but anybody, um, that you have to be right now it's a sense of anonymity where I can get away with these things because I'm behind, I'm in my headset behind a computer monitor or a TV, and it's really kind of just innocent. It's a victimless crime,
Mm-hmm.
um
Or no, no, not a victim.
well,
It's a nameless crime.
yeah, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. The nameless crime. So and furthermore, you're protected by your gamer tag, right? So one thing she said, she's asking from a marketing perspective.
No, that I'm gonna get to later.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah. We'll talk about marketing later.
All right. So I agree with you that there should be some system in place for that. And when you were discussing it or talking about it, I just remembered, I think there was that in the 360. I don't know what it is, in if it's still there in the Xbox One. But if you remember when we used to play Call of Duty and
Hmm.
we used to report people who did JTAG hacks, right?
Yeah.
I remember seeing in that reporting screen that you can see the like the happy face or the sad face as far as what other
Right.
people put in,
In that
right?
spectrum. Yeah.
Right,
Like
right.
percentage.
So I don't think it'd be too far fetched to implement something that's as what you just suggested to hold people accountable and have them, uh, whether it's limited capacity in playing or creating a party or something like that, to 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 have that system in place. But then the dangers of that, I look at it in the dark side of, there can be people that are trolls or people just, go on a tangent and some guys YouTube wrongly accuse somebody of doing this and then everybody just kind of reports them falsely.
Right, but this is why I don't like how binary that system is like good or bad. I would like there to be a much more broad spectrum of the reasons why, and you'd have to
Oh
have,
yeah,
yeah, this is the way that I see it. If you report somebody, they automatically get blocked. And it should be very easy to report somebody. And if you make it easy to do or not, you don't have to go through so many steps, then you would need a sheer the amount of time that you're banned should be proportional to, or that you're limited in whatever you can do should be proportional to how many, complaints you've gotten. um and yeah, so I agree with that, but I ideally I would hope that there was a way that Sony could, that you could offer, for example, if it's in a chat, that you could offer, 'cause Street Fighter kind of did this a little bit, some evidence. If you can offer evidence how they've been talking, or whatever, that would definitely go a long way as far as, okay, this person's not trolling, this person is trolling, or whatever. And you can have different algorithms. I'm assuming, well, these people are completely unrelated and they're all complaining about this one person, and they clearly played with them at these different times because there is a log of the players you've met, in which game, which
right.
day, whatever.
Right.
So how can you be trolling someone if there's clearly no log of you ever playing with that person? I
True.
think there's a way they can do it, and yeah, I do think some policing definitely needs to occur because, again, this does depend on the game too. Um, Again, I'm thinking of Call of Duty way back in the day. I do not know what Call of Duty's like now. I don't
Mm.
honestly. The last times we played Call of Duty, I don't remember. Well, that's usually because we're in a party, but I don't remember hearing a lot of people trash talking like they did in Modern Warfare days. But the
Mm.
the thing is I really do. Just because you pay to play online does not give you the freedom to harass people. And I'm thinking, this is
Mhm.
so weird. I'm thinking of and I don't look, guys. I'm not trying to be like a social justice warrior or anything, but um, who's the one actress in um, the new Ghostbusters movie that was pretty much being crapped on Twitter?
Leslie Jones.
Okay, yeah, um, and the and whoever was trolling on her was banned, right, from Twitter, right,
Yeah,
something
they
like that.
yeah, Twitter created a council. Yeah, this whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I do remember reading a headline, and I completely agree with it. You can't hide behind freedom of speech to harass someone. And what I think of is like a gym membership. What, just because you pay to go to a gym and you're a member there, you could treat anyone the way you want, even if it's just through words? No, they'll kick you out. And if they can ban people from specific games from playing just from cheating or teabagging, then in my personal humble opinion, damn right Sony or Microsoft has the 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 power. They should have the power to justfully ban someone for being able to play online. Give them a refund for whatever they haven't played from their Xbox Live, uh, or subscription or PlayStation Plus. They don't care. But I'll tell you one thing: if that did happen, and I'm not saying Sony and Microsoft should always listen into what we're saying in our parties, but it would just be a much nicer place to play both platforms. I can't speak on behalf of Steam because I don't know what that's like, you know. But the at the same time, Caddy, and this is, and again, I'm pretty sure you've done this already. This is just like how it is in life. Anyone that does not mesh well with you, you know, unless obviously if they're family, kind of can avoid it, but just let them go. Who cares? There have been people that I just found obnoxious, and I didn't block them. You know, I just they weren't harassing me for the record. If they were, I would have blocked them. But it was just the idea of only keep with you the people that you get along well with, and the my what I always think of here is doing raids in Destiny. Um, I've tried some raids with people that they'll get either angry very quickly, um, they'll be impatient, they'll yell at other people because they're not doing their job or they're not listening or whatever. And because you played Destiny, right? On the you said the 360, that is a it can get very bad very quickly, you know. Um, but Frozen knows this. I've raided with several people before that I really like, but recently found this group of people, and one of them is a girl, that they're actually pretty close to AC. They live in Netherlands, and it is such a joy to play with them, and we've done many raids together already, and it just goes smoothly because we all get along. It doesn't mean we don't joke around, right? It's not, and we still have our jokes and stuff. But the thing is that really taught me, because Frozen knows this. There's a part, and it was regarding the raid. There's a part where I got so frustrated with the game, I actually pretty much quit, and I was like, no, let me give it another shot. Let me give it another shot as far as the raids, and you got to find the right people to play with. That's the thing. If you find a solid group, then it's not going to matter. But I know or I'm guessing you are not just asking on your own behalf personally. You're just talking about in general with harassment, at least when it comes to gender. Um, that's what I think. At least the again Microsoft and Sony could do. As far as marketing, that's a whole other issue, because let's be honest, there are some misogynistic things when it comes to marketing of certain games, but you know what? That's fine. Um, the obvious example to me is Grand Theft Auto. Me personally, I'm not a fan of Grand Theft Auto,
Right.
right? Um, but you know, I know a lot of my friends play Grand Theft Auto, and several of them are female, and they enjoy it. That's fine. To each their own. Um, but instead of taking a social justice approach to it and squashing that, I really do appreciate it when certain games are marketed. I'm talking about advertisements specifically, um, where I think one of the core things about this is that female gamers are supposed to be rare, um, but I'm pretty sure there are many more of them out there than most of us would think. And if we can get it in the society's mind that a lot of gamers are female, just a lot of them are, I'm not saying the majority, but a lot of them, that it's not so strange. So why would you treat one so differently, right? Um, Online. And this is gonna sound, I don't, Frozen, I'm curious. I think you might agree with me, but the people that usually harass other people, especially when it comes to gender, like you said, behind the name, the gamer tag or
Mm.
the online ID, um, I think they're just little bitches, to the point where they don't have the guts to say anything like that in real life, and so they are compensating in some way or whatever, some psychological way to get through their inferiority complex or something and just take it on other people.
Yeah, 100% agree with you on that.
Yeah.
100%. And, you know, man, this whole week I've been reading this question, and it's just, it's such a huge topic pertaining to so many different aspects of uh, social interaction in games, how females are perceived within, playing video games. Like you mentioned, the marketing, being misogynistic.
Hmm.
Definitely 100% agree with games like GTA and all that stuff.
Which again, we're not knocking GTA. If you love GTA, more power to you.
Right, right.
We're
No,
not.
yeah, of course,
Yeah.
of course, of course. I, I'm at a loss to really. Okay, let me take it at a different angle here.
Go for it.
My personal view on limiting or restricting the user experience, whether it be on a game or online, um, I'm generally against, right? Because my stance with um, internet privacy, and for example, I don't think there should be much government interference in um, checking your emails, checking your activity online, because that's just how I feel. But when you get into video games, it's a bit of a gray area for me because I feel that way a certain extent. But then again, I don't want to exclude a gender of gamers, um, because I mean, man, I'm this is such a huge topic. I can't even formulate my sentence completely. But I guess what I'm really trying to say is that it's going to take time for us to really get on the same playing level with this, because this has been a male driven industry for decades, and that sense of like, oh, only guys play video games, and the whole fantasy aspect, there are people that hold on to that and think that women play games, or they play Candy Crush, or they play some stupid little girly game, and that perception is extremely difficult to break, and you can only do so much, but you have to, but whatever you do has to be a consistent approach. And I think it's gotten a hell of a lot better than it had, back when you and I were playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare. But again, I can't speak from experience because I'm not a female, so I don't know the type of things that they encounter. But I would say we're making progress towards breaking that. And you look at E3, there's a lot more female developers, there's a lot more of a female presence within video games that are coming up and being an integral part of the experience. As far as users at home, like I said, being protected by a screen name and the anonymity of just them playing at home and really feeling like it's a nameless crime, that is difficult to address, because you do have those people that feel they can get away with this, and they do have their own inferiority complex that it's just they're going to have to work out in some way. I don't know if this was a coherent rant that I just put out there, but it vexes me so much to try to understand, number one, to try to understand this position, because it's not something that I have experienced. Now, I have been an outsider looking in and didn't agree with things, but it's such a difficult road to take on this, to see how is it going to be fixed. It's
Uh,
just going to take time.
yeah, I do feel like this is slowly changing. But one thing I'll say to you, Caddy, is First off, one, I have been on the other side of that. And as weird as this is, I have had female gamers harass me, right? Like
Really?
they will say certain things that are, I would say, inappropriate. But what I do to that is, um, I just ignore them. And this is something, and again, I don't do this just in video games. If somebody is talking to you, and this is not just to you, Katty, it's to anybody out there. If somebody's talking to you in the way that you don't want, you either ignore them and you only talk, you only communicate when they treat you correctly, as far as with respect. They'll pick up on that, and I hate to say it, if they keep acting that way, their whole life's going to be screwed up like that, and that's their loss. But one thing that saddens me, as far as how you said, is, and I don't blame you, okay, is that you say you often shy away from talking to people. I I would hate for you to miss out on meeting the people that would actually be really cool, you
Yeah,
know?
I agree with that. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I think the best thing, if you haven't done this already, you be you, right? You let it all out. And if somebody talks to you, just mute them, block them, and no matter what they say, you won't be aware of it, right? And the thing is, you keep talking. You know, like let's say you are playing Destiny and you're playing PvP with someone or raiding with someone. Um, uh, okay, again, if you're in a raid and somebody's treating you like crap in there and you mute them, right? And then something goes wrong because you guys can communicate with each other in the raid, guess who they're going to kick out? They're not going to kick you out if you can hear everyone else. You see what I'm saying? And I've seen that happen too in raids that I've been in. Um, the Yeah, but you never let somebody, because the way they are, prevent you from being who you are. And this is aside from the marketing, and Sony and Microsoft do whatever they can definitely do more on their part to help make this a lot easier. But I would hate for you to miss out on people that, because some of the people I play with, you know, Frozen I knew personally, like we've been best friends for a while, but there are certain people that I've met fairly recently, like through Overwatch and Destiny, where I feel like it's only been like a month, but I feel like I've known them my whole life. And it is such a pleasure to go online and play, and that's how it should be, you know. I really do hope we offered something you haven't heard before, and I hope. I don't think we were being social justice warriors, right? I think we were.
I don't think so. And I my own thing. I apologize. I have nothing profoundly
It's
changing with that.
yeah, but what you said is true though, right? Listen, they're out there. You just got to, put yourself out there, and then whoever rubs you the wrong way, just let them be. And you're gonna see how
Yeah,
insignificant they are to begin with.
don't let them control your experience.
Don't shy, Katty. Don't shy. Ironically, I don't think she's that shy because she's the first person to ever email us.
Right?
Right?
Right on, Katty.
And Katty, for the record, we still know you're AI. We know you're not real.
Yeah, exactly. Internet famous now, and you're gonna take over.
I bet your name is really like K.A.
Right. It's kinetic android talking to younger people.
To youngins.
Youngins. Youths.
But yes, anyway, that was a great question. When Frozen and I first read this question, unfortunately, Coffee couldn't make it tonight. We were like, oh my God, this is.
How do you answer this?
Yeah.
It was, but thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, seriously. That's awesome.
For providing that. And it's not something I think I would have touched on, or, maybe none of us would have touched on, unless maybe there was a story that broke or something. But, that was an interesting question. And I definitely thank you, Katty, for contributing. And, I'll say for her secondary question, which I hope you read it. She went to Brainal.net and she said she
the merch.
The merch.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not even
never crossed
that
my
level. Mind. Yeah, we're like infants taking a first step. We're not even thinking about running the track and field of the Olympics.
At first, when you wrote that, I'm like, Merc, what is? What is um, but let's say this, okay? If we were to ever in the future ever do any merch, we're gonna save the first T-shirt for you.
First run, yes.
First one.
First ever.
Yes.
Straight up, it'll be a limited edition. Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, we're not even near that solar system.
But now that you mention it, man, we could be like Scrooge McDucks, swimming in the pennies.
Yes.
But we do appreciate your faith in us.
Yeah.
That was shocking. That's crazy.
Yeah. Thank you, though.
Yeah. AC, you Swedish beautiful person. You owe us a question of the week for next week. Again, we record these on Wednesday nights, so you hopefully you get the question out to us in time. Again, nothing too personal, but whatever you want to ask is fine. And don't, we will figure out what you're trying to say if you're not too confident in your English. We were able to figure out what you wanted to say with your email, which is great.
Yeah.
Either way, we're looking forward to hearing from you. And anybody else who's out there, we'd love to hear from you. Again, what was the email address again?
It was
I forgot.
podcast@brainal.net.
That's very surprising that I forgot that. Anyway, we also have a YouTube channel. If you guys didn't know, we'd love for you to subscribe, watch our videos, support us. We'd greatly appreciate it. We have Brainal.net that is still, I'll let Frozen take care of that.
Yeah, that's it's a work in progress. We might be changing domain
No, it's
names,
not. I don't want to put that out there.
Yeah,
put that
so
out there.
we might. There's work to be done.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes,
working on that.
And on behalf of Brainal.net, I'm Jepi Condor of Frozen GFX, and we'll see you next time on the Brainal Podcast. Peace.
Hey.
That was a great close, right?
Yes, very nicely done.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Stop.